Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my first game from Season 4, Division 1 of the Pokémon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, as you may know, today we are facing off in our first game against PaullyMac, my good friend Paul and ThunderBolton Wanderers. Now, his links, of course, will be down in the description. Make sure you go and check them out. He is just one of the loveliest people around. And you know, he's got some balls to go into the rap battle that we're doing at the beginning of the games this season. So you know, check that out as well. That went up yesterday. No, it went up earlier today, I think. Of course, many links in the description that you should probably check out, along with Paul's links, which they are really the main thing you check out. Links to the PPL Twitter and YouTube. They'll be down there as well for all your PPL needs. Everything you need to know you can find in those links. What else will be down there? Link to Kelly, my man under the radar. He really helped me out by recording this battle for me. So yeah, make sure you check his links out. And of course, you will also find a link to the team building analysis video. If you missed that, that went up a couple of days ago for a really in-depth analysis of my team, my thought process behind building it, and my thoughts going into this game and why I chose the things I did. Make sure you check that out so you can see exactly what I brought to this battle. But to briefly go over it, we've got physically offensive Assault Vest Electros, we've got physically defensive Hitmontop, Sub-Carmine Meloetta, Sub-Dragon Dance Tyrantrum, especially offensive speedy Mega-Venusaur, and a bulky speedy rapid spinning Excadrill. Now, Paul, the team he decided to bring, he has got, as you can see from left to right, we have Emboar, Crocodile, Registeel, Manaphy, Latios, and the Zapdos. So, exactly the 6 things I thought he would be bringing, which is always good. It's nice when that pans out. So, I was feeling a bit more confident knowing that he'd brought all the things that I thought he would bring, but of course they are the 6 most threatening things he's got going for him. One good thing is he doesn't appear to have Hazard Stack. You know, he's got a couple of rocks options there. Looking at this, he's got so many potential Scarfers. I suspected at the beginning he might go double Scarf with Crook and Zapdos. I was suspecting something like a Banded Emboar, a very bulky Registeel, some kind of setup Manaphy. The Latios really could be anything, but I thought he might be packing Defog on that. Either way, my main thing here was to lead off with my Electros, because other than the Emboar, I really didn't fear anything. I knew that anytime he gets an Emboar versus Electros matchup, something on my team basically dies. So I'm going to have to watch out for that. But I felt fairly sure he wouldn't lead with the Emboar. I was predicting the Zapdos lead, or indeed possibly the Crook. So as I say, I decided to go with my Electros. So without further ado, let's get right into the battle and see exactly how things played out. So, here we go. Paul is issuing his challenge. Now, he is going to lead off with the Zapdos as I suspected, and I'm going to go with my Electros. This is fine. I'm pretty sure he's just going to Volt Switch out because he can't touch me. And that's exactly what he does. So I'm thinking this is grand. I can just U-turn. And he doesn't do a lot of damage. It's too early to say whether he's offensive or not. But I'm happy to U-turn, and beautifully he brings in his Crocodile. Now he's going to get the Intimidate onto me, but I'm going to be able to get some nice damage with U-turn, and given that he doesn't appear to have too much passive healing, that's probably there to stay. And as you can see, I do around 30 to 40%. This is not a defensive Crook. This is offensive. That means it's Scarfed. So I'm going to go into my Hitmontop and reveal early that I have the Air Balloon. I get the Intimidate. This thing is not going to want to take on my Hitmontop anytime soon. It probably can't touch me. So he's going to have to withdraw, and he's going to go into the best thing he has to take a hit from this guy. That's going to be his Zapdos, but I do predict that. And as you'll see after he exerts pressure, I'm going to go for Toxic and nail this Zapdos with a Toxic. I don't think he has Cleric support on his team, so that's probably there to stay as well. And that's going to be nice to wear down any form of Zapdos. Now here I have a choice. I can either go into Excadrill predicting the stab or Electros. I go into Excadrill predicting the stab, but unfortunately Paul is going to get this one right. As you'll see, he just nails me with a Heat Wave on the switch. Now I do have an Occa Berry, but unfortunately it's not really going to be enough, and the damage he does shows that he is offensive in some way. So I was kind of hoping he was Scarfed, but as you can see, he does reveal the leftovers. So he's not Scarfed, that's a good thing to know, but he has nailed me with a Heat Wave, and now I certainly can't take any kind of hit from the Emboar anymore. Now I am going to switch out. I feel like he's going to want to try and take out my Excadrill with a Heat Wave. But once again, Paul playing the ballsy game. He gets it right here. And he's going to go for the Volt Switch on my Excadrill, switching out into the Electros. And now, as I suspected and feared, in comes the Emboar. And he's got the matchup that I know he would have wanted. I have to sack something. I don't have a choice at this point early on in the game. I have to sack off Excadrill. As I say, I don't have a choice. So I'm going to go into the Excadrill. He's going to make the play and go for the low kick. And that is going to take out my my Excadrill from there. So Excadrill goes down early. But I'm still under the impression that he might be choiced. And I'm going to go into my Meloetta to try and test that water. Now, he is going to switch out here. If he's Scarfed, he wouldn't do any damage to me. And if not, I'll probably outspeed him. So, he's going to make the switch, go into his Iron Sheik, the Registeel, as I pop a Substitute. This is great. I'm sub leftovers, and I can start to try and set up early game on this Registeel. Now, he's under the impression at this point that I'm max HP. He has the Seismic Toss, but he thinks he can't break my sub, so he's going to switch out. And he's going to go into Eddie, that's his Latios. And as you'll see, I'm going to drop a Calm Mind. Fantastic. Meloetta is looking super spooky right now. Really, really dangerous. And at this point, I am just going to start attacking him, just to see how much damage we can each do to each other. Privately, I was kind of hoping that he would be trying to drop a Draco on me. But Paul, he's just going to go for the Dragon Pulse. He'll have done the calcs and probably seen that he can take out a sub from where he's at. And as you'll see, even at +1, he is going to be able to take it out because I have no HP or Spidef investment. And he shows his Life Orb, which can only help his cause. Now I'm going to go for a Hyper Voice here. And this is going to do big, big damage and just miss out on the KO. If I'd have got the KO there, I would have been in a really good position. But at this point, he is going to go for a Roost. Now, I just wanted to try and get out of this exchange behind a Substitute, because if I get out of this exchange behind a Substitute, he can't bring in the Crook. So I'm going to go for the sub here, and try and set up a little bit more, because he can break it, but then I can get another Calm Mind up, hopefully be able to make an unbreakable sub. So as you can see, Paul is going to go for the Dragon Pulse right about now. And of course, much like last time, that is going to break my Substitute, but I know that I can take any one hit after this with my +1, and I'm going to actually here go for +2. So here's my second Calm Mind with Meloetta, and now Meloetta is looking very spooky indeed to Paul. He's not going to like this. And what I'm hoping is that I can now set up an unbreakable sub on him. Really hoping that he can't break a Substitute. He's going to go for the Psyshock, and as you can see, because of my pitiful defense and no investment, that's easy sub breaking range. So I'm going to drop a sub once again, but I'm down to very low health. I will be able to take him out next turn, but I'm only going to get 2 iterations of leftovers to help mitigate the damage I've lost through subbing and Psyshock. So he realises that his Latios is doomed here, Paul, so he's just going to break my sub. He can't let me out of this exchange behind a Substitute. He knows that, I realise that, probably a turn too late. I could have kept more HP on my Meloetta if I'd have just gone for the KO at +1, but as it is, I do manage to take out the Latio, so that's good. Meloetta managing to do some stuff, taking out a big threat on his team. However, I know what's coming here. He's only ever going to bring in the Crook right now. He's very much telegraphed that he's Scarfed, and he can take me out with pretty much any hit. Now here, I'm like, I've shown 2 immunities to ground. He's not going for Earthquake. I can go into my Venusaur, tank the hit, Mega Evolve, and force him out in Synthesis. And he goes for Earthquake, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, why? Why would you go for Earthquake? I've shown I have 2 immunities. I know you're Scarfed. So at this point, I am going to switch out into my Hitmontop. Knowing that he is Scarfed, he has to be. There's no reason he wouldn't be Scarfed. So I float in the air balloon, that's fine. He goes for Earthquake, it doesn't affect me. Now here, I know a switch is coming, so I'm going to pull a cheeky double, thinking he's going into Zapdos to absorb a Toxic. He actually here is going to go into his Manaphy, but my switch was into Electros, which is really good, so I get a fantastic matchup here, and I'm going to pause. The reason I'm going to pause here is because the next 2 turns of this game take some explaining. Now, as far as I am concerned, this Manaphy is a massive, massive win condition for Paul. He cannot risk this Manaphy. However, I'm running some calcs. His Manaphy is at full health. I've lost maybe 15 to 20% of my health. Now, I'm running counts. Wild Charge from me at this point is not a guaranteed Oko on this Manaphy. I think it's got maybe a 25 to 30% chance. However, I cannot do this. Because if that Manaphy stays in and sets up anything, I go for Wild Charge and I do not kill him, I lose this game 5-0. Because he outspeeds everything else I've got left and he will have the coverage to take me down. He knows I've got a Mega-Venusaur, he's going to be packing Psychic, I know this. And if I go for a Wild Charge and I do not take him out and he sets up a Calm Mind, or he sets up a Tail Glow, the recoil that I take from getting a lot of damage on him but not enough, will get to the point where he will take me out and he will sweep my team. So Wild Charge at this point is not an option. However, I also know that if I can get a little bit of health back on this Electros, I will take any setup hit he goes for. I will take a Calm Mind boosted hit. I will even take a Tail Glow boosted Scald. I know this, because Electros is just that bulky. But I need a little bit more health to do it. I also think that, you know, as I've said, this is his massive win condition. He can't risk it against an Electros. So in my mind, he's switching out, probably into the safe middle ground of Registeel, but he might be ballsy and go into his Crocodile as well. So in every single circumstance here, my play is to Drain Punch. Because what happens then is, if he switches out into one of his Electric Resist or a safe middle ground Registeel, I get a big hit off with Drain Punch and then I U-turn out. If he stays in and sets up, I go for Drain Punch, I definitely live any next hit, and I do then take him out guaranteed with Wild Charge. If he stays in and just starts attacking me, he can't 2-hit KO me. I'm an Electros, I'm Assault Vest, and he doesn't have setup. So then I'll go for Drain Punch, I'll live 2 hits, I'll take him out with the Wild Charge, and life will be golden. So, that's my thought process. Let's see what happens. He goes for the Tail Glow, he stays in. This has me worried, but as I've said, I can live any one hit Tail Glow booster from this. So I go for the Drain Punch, I do maybe 20 to 30% and I get some health back. I can live this hit, and then I'll take him out with a Wild Charge, and we'll go from there. So here comes the Scald, he lands it, and he crits me. And I lost my shit, because I have nothing. I go into Venusaur in the vague hope that Paul has not prepared for a Mega-Venusaur. Of course he's prepared for Mega-Venusaur, you know. I'm pretty much sure a Scald would take me out at this range, but as you can see, he does pack the Psychic, that's going to take me out. I have nothing more to say to this game. He sweeps me, because I have nothing. I'm going to go into Hitmontop. I'm going to go for the... I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to go for the woefully optimistic Sucker Punch. For no other reason than that I can. And as you'll see, I get a crit here, which is just hilarious. He goes for Psychic, and he is of course going to kill me. I'm physically defensive. He gets a crit just to rub it in. At this point, I was just sitting back at my desk. We were in core, as we sometimes do, with it muted, and we're just speaking, and I wasn't speaking anymore. I was 17 different kinds of done with everything. He's going to sweep through my team. The last thing I have left, unfortunately, is Tyrantrum. I know he kills me. It's unfortunate that Tyrantrum doesn't get to do anything in this game. I think I click Dragon Dance here because, God forbid, I live a hit, but of course I don't. And yeah, that's the end of Tyrantrum, and that is the end of the game. I have so little more to add. It's so frustrating. After everything that happened last season, after the 6 Hurricane misses, after that crucial Stone Age miss, after the crit that took out Blaziken against Frank, I thought after all of that, can we just have one game, the first game, where there is no game-changing crit, or there's no game-changing miss, and I absolutely, categorically, 100% lost that game to Hacks. I did. There's no arguing with it. I did. Because I lived that Scald, I took him out with Wild Charge, we go from there. I had the capability to beat him the rest of that game. He had the capability to beat me the rest of that game. No one knows what would have happened if that had played out. But I very much had at least an equal chance as he did of going on from that position to win that game. and I would feel confident that I could have done it. That crit lost me the game, and it lost me the game badly. That's a 5-0. We got destroyed entirely because of hacks, because of that one crit. I mean, and look, it's important to say, I mean, I'm getting angry even just thinking about it. At the time, I was livid. I was absolutely beside myself. I was so angry. But it's important to say, you know, I was obviously very angry. Not at Paul, obviously, and it's important that I say this. Not at Paul. It's not his fault, you know. And credit to him, he's done a very good job throughout that match of making sure my Meloetta was at low health, so that his Manaphy could take that on in case I was going to be too bulky for it. You know, with Calm Minds, I could have taken it on. So he did a good job of weakening my Mons, you know, and, you know, of course, the Venusaur, which was mostly my fault. That was a bad play on my part, I'll accept that. The crit, that's out of both our control, but it lost me the game. 100%. There's nothing else to be said about it. And, you know, I mentioned that the Wild Charge wouldn't necessarily have taken out the Manaphy. I couldn't risk it at the time, because if I'd have got that lower roll, and as I say, it was about a 25-30% chance to take out the Manaphy, a chance I couldn't take at the time, because if I had not taken him out, he would have swept me. So I was giving myself the best chance possible. If I had gone for Wild Charge, and I hadn't taken him out, I still would have lost that game. Because I would have gone into Hitmontop, I would have gone for Sucker Punch, and it would have failed because he's Resto Chesto. So, and that's what he would have gone for, obviously. You know, at that low health, of course he would have. So I think I gave myself the best chance possible by going for Drain Punch at the turn I did. And it just didn't work out because we got haxed. There's very little more to say. Credit to Paul, he takes a good win first week, so he's looking in a strong position. Manaphy gets 5 kills, I'm sure he'll wax lyrical about that. Actually, no, he won't wax lyrical about it. He'll be happy about it, but I don't think he'll go on about it because he knows I was really, really salty about what happened. But, you know, credit to him, he's done well with it, and yeah, I don't have any ill feeling towards him, I just have ill feeling towards the game. So, yeah, that leaves us... Who's to spoil anything? No one else lost 5 or 6, so that leaves us rooted bottom to the table end of first week. Because of hacks, I'll keep saying it because it's true. Where do we go from here? Well, we've just got to keep going. That's a hard one that's a bitter pill to swallow. But we just got to try and pick ourselves up and just try and win games now. And hope the hacks doesn't bite us. Next week... It just doesn't get any better because next week we play against Kelly, Under the Radar and the Maryland Torterrapins. You remember how that went last time? We missed 3 Hurricanes in a row. Fucking A. So that's going to be fun. It's not. But yeah, that's going to be coming up sometime next week. So look forward to that, I guess. But that's going to be it from this week. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed, he said sarcastically. But no, Paul... Well done on the win, congratulations. You know, I'm sure he'll go on from strength to strength. Check out his links in the description, he is a lovely person. He apologised, I lost count of the amount of times he apologised. I can only imagine what he was saying when it was actually happening. He said sorry more times than he's ever remembered doing. And he's a lovely person, so check out his links, you'll be doing yourself a favour. He's got some fantastic content on his channel. And you'll be able to see his side of this battle, which should be entertaining. But yeah. We just got to go on and try and get some wins, and you know, we'll still try and do that. So keep your eyes peeled for more PPL content. That'll be coming your way hopefully next week. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. So my final thank you to you all for watching. Keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. This is a setback, but we are still, as ever, going for the top. And I'm going to get out of here. So my final thanks once again for watching. Guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.